So by this point, you've seen the other videos, and this is just a quick video to show you all of the steps in copying a board and creating a new board for your project, and then setting up the relevant cards, all in one step without giving you all the explanation behind each step, because we've already done that. So we're going to go up to our Trello link here for the home page, and we're going to click on template board, and we're going to copy this board. So we'll click on the left hand bit, click more, and then we'll copy board, and we're going to call it in this case, let's just do it for the Mr. Mullenhopt. I'll just say Mullenhopt internal promotions, and I'll go ahead and see here and create that board. All right, so now you can see here we have Mullenhopt internal promotions. I'm going to change the background to be something that's consistent with our company colors, and then I'm going to start right off the bat by changing this one card. This is RD. I'm going to take an hour to get this board layout and project task setup set up. So I'm also going to change that to green, because that is now the thing that I am actively working on. And I'm going to add myself to the card. And I'll set the due date of today. And I'll set it to, I want to do this by 10 p.m. tonight. I'm going to go ahead and get started on this right now. So the first thing that I'm going to do is look at these files and resources. And I'll connect in the Google Drive folder that's relevant to this, and the Google Box folder that's relevant, or the Box folder that is relevant to this. Assuming that I've already created those. If I haven't, I'm going to create empty folders in those two places, and then attach them to this files and resources card. And then once I do that, I'm going to check off these two items. I can even delete the checklist once that's done, because then the various files will be showing up here, and going forward I can add in more attachments. Good. So let's take a look at our first project here. We've got that Mr. Mullenhopt promo book. So while I was brushing my teeth, I'm going to hit Shift-Enter here to start editing the card right away. While I was brushing my teeth, I came up with this idea for the Mr. Mullenhopt promotional book. This is a book that explains our process and this whole Trello process that we use for prospecting and send out to our clients as a little giveaway. So here's what it is. I just pasted this image into Trello. Basically, while I was brushing my teeth, I decided on this book. It's going to be outlines, writing, design, and marketing. So I'm just going to go right to this card, and I'm going to create a checklist, because this is our project card. And on my checklist here, I'm going to just paste in. I've got a list that I already created, so you can see this just copies out of a Word document. I actually just copied it right out of that slideshow that I just showed you, that slide. But from the actual slide itself, as opposed to the image, of course. And so I just pasted these in. Okay, so outline. So who's going to have to outline this? I guess that's going to be Jane. We're going to give her an hour to outline this outline book. Then the person who's going to write it is also going to be Jane. We'll give her 3 hours to outline or to write that. I'll bring a little unreasonable time here, but design, I want some scribbles done, and I want them quick. So we're going to give Naz a quick design, because we just want that cover to be nice and scribbly. We need an agent, so I'm going to find us an agent, and I'll take less than an hour to do that. So we always round up the number of hours it's going to take instead of rounding them down. And then for publisher, I'm going to have Todd find someone, because he's written some books before. Not really, but he's connected. So we've got marketing. We need to promote this, so I'm going to actually reach out to friends to get that done. And we're going to put all of the hours into our marketing, so we'll spend 923 hours exactly on, just say 9 hours for promoting this book. And to get to the top of the New York Times bestsellers. So we're going to have to figure out what that's actually going to take, and that's probably going to become a project in and of itself. But these other ones here, I'm going to go ahead and convert them each to cards now, because I happen to know that each of these is set up and ready to go. So after we've had the meeting to discuss this and added all these checklist items in, we can go ahead and just convert these each to cards. And this one's I'm going to convert to a card, but make it into a project. So this particular one, the promo book, is a project, and I'm going to close this right now. I'm going to set a due date for it. The due date for the project as a whole, we're going to put as November 30th. I don't need that done right away, and I forgot to add myself as the project owner. So I don't know the number of total hours involved in this project yet, but I do know that our maximum cap that we provided to Adam was 35 hours. So we need to get it done within that somehow. Hopefully come in a little bit less. So I'm going to assign these to different team members. I'll start typing in Jane's name here. Now she's added to the board. Assign that to Jane. I'm going to assign this to Naz. Add her to the board. I'm going to assign this to myself with the space bar. I'll add sign or press letter A and assign this one to Todd. And then I'm going to assign this one to myself. Now this one, I'm going to hit L, put project on that, because that's really going to have a number of different pieces involved in it, whereas these other ones are all tasks. So I'm going to drag these tasks over. And then I'm going to let Jane know that that this one, whenever we're assigning projects to people, we're not going to tell them, we're not going to tell them what they're doing right now, but we will let them know the priorities. So writing book happens after outlining the book. So I'm actually going to say, I'm going to take this, put this into outline book as a checklist item, and convert this. So this is now going to have to become a card once this outline book is done. And then I'm going to say when it's due. So we want the book written by, let's say, October 20th. And I'm going to save that. Now when Jane's done her card, she's going to notice that there's a checklist item outstanding, and she's going to have to convert this to a card and assign it to herself. So that's how we make sure that these cascading items get done as well. For this book project here, I can archive that because I didn't really need to create a separate one. For this, I'm going to say it's his top importance, because we really need a Mr. Messy style book. For this one, I'm going to put a top importance as well, because without the design, we can't sell anyone on it. And we can kind of go ahead and, worst case scenario, we'll publish it ourselves on Amazon, and worst case scenario, we'll be our own agents. So I might even make the agent one into a low priority. But now we've got these items, and I have just accomplished this. I'm going to move it over here to just get some feedback from Todd on it and make sure that I didn't miss anything important. I'm going to add Adam in to get some extra feedback as well. And then assuming everything's good, let's see here, Adam and @sign Todd, because whenever we make a comment, we mention the person's name so that we make sure they get this. This is a test. But basically, we're just going to tell them, hey, please review and let me know if this works for you, or if this is missing anything. Probably only need to add Todd on here. I'll save, close this, and once Todd looks at that, he'll say, Ryan looks good, I moved this to go live. He'll comment that there, and then I can bring it live. So once that's live now, again, I'm just going to go in here, I'm going to check off the date, I'm going to change the label to be dark, and I'm going to mark the exact amount of time it actually took me. So it took me minutes 15. So there we go. Now I know that I got this done. My team can look and see what I got done today, and they can even see the date I got it done on. So if I had a different due date, let's say I had the 28th as a due date, I would want to make sure to change that to today's date, whatever date it is that I got it done, so that it's clear on the card that that's done. Now let's go to this Mr. Mullenhoff promo book. we're going to do the Ultimello connections. And you'll notice since it rarely works the first time, I'm going to hit refresh on the page. And once this page refreshes here, I'm going to go ahead and hit connections by Trello again. I'm going to edit. And then I'm going to just choose everything that is related to this project. So got that, I got that, I got this, I've got this. And that is all of the items. So I'm going to click done there. And now we've got these linked in and we can see the status of everything happening. So we know that we've got this going live already, and remaining on the project, we have in total, I'm going to put this at the very end, used 15 minutes for remaining. So now we have an idea of how much time is left, how much time has been put in, and what our budget for the total project is. So so this is looking good. Actually, you know what we should do here is 35 budgeted, 35 hours budgeted. So 15 minutes spent out of 35 hours budgeted. And now we can look at this and see, okay, we've actually only got 4 hours of tasks. So I'm going to make this RD4. And that's what's left on this particular project now. Now we always move the resources down to the bottom of the projects list, so we see projects first. And if we go to one of these cards, we can click back up to see the main project itself. We are looking really, really good. This is awesome. So that is it for a start to finish view of using these boards. Now, as a project manager, I guess the other thing that we want to make sure that I do, first of all, I add myself to this card, but we want to make sure that I, once we've completed this project, let's say we've moved everything over here, and of course we are going to need to make sure that that the dates that I should have assigned are checked off in green like this one, and we also want to make sure that each one of these is grayed out. Okay, so those are all grayed out. Now I'm going to drag this over. And I'm going to archive the associated cards. So to do that, I'm just going to go to connections, and I'm going to actually close myself out of here so that, well, here we go. Go to connections. I'm going to show children, and now that we've gotten these done, we can archive one after the other. C, 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 C. Each one of those C's archives it, and close that. And now I'm going to leave this as a teal color, because in our next team meeting, we're going to go in and take a look and see, okay, we got this done. Great. When did we get it done? I'm going to say planned finish was November 30th. Actual finish was September 21st. Budget was 35 hours. Actual was probably about 30 minutes, but let's just say it took all 4 hours that we had reevaluated to 4.25 hours. 4 hours, 15 minutes is fine too. And so now in the team meeting, we can go through and take a look and see, wow, this is awesome. Ryan, good job on the project management. Team involved, we can look at each one of these things and say, Jane, great job. Naz, awesome work. Todd, good job finding that publisher. And then we've got that knocked out. So we are in really good shape here. And then finally, once that's done, we'll record it as a team, and we can archive that project. Look at that. We are now really nailing it. Now, of course, what we didn't what I missed here is that this card needed to also be associated to it. So we've now got this lingering remainder of the project. But really, this is a project we discussed. But we just need to make sure that we make it on that card with the checklist to get to this marketing one that project, so don't forget about it. But that is everything start to finish. You have just completed your pro training, and you are about to be tested in the most trying of circumstances. I wish you luck, young Padawan.